And so, she has finally figured out how to do her trying to get a loan for her car and let's not forget that Stuart is walking the red carpet. She lives happily ever after.
You ever think about what happens when you die? See, I haven't lived long enough, yet I feel like I've already left traces of myself everywhere. What's a girl to do when she's A, broke, and B, has nothing to give up? If I don't have my will, what happens to all of my mess? Honestly.
Ayoyo, this is very pantang one. No, you're not supposed to talk about will when you belum mati. We are very pantang about this. No, Tiger lazy, you know?
Is it too soon?
RUMIT lah.
Longevity risk, which is something that we consider in retirement planning, is that you live longer than your money lasts. And so you have no problems if you run out of breath before your cash runs out. But if it happens the other way around, not so good. I would suggest that people use wills in a positive way, but it's a very powerful thing, and it's not just the distribution of stuff, like the phone, like the camera. More importantly, it is a distribution of assets, financial assets, and physical assets, like as you accumulate a house, a car, etc., etc. The picture that I want is for you to be able to grasp what you've got today and to place it somewhere intelligently in the future. Usually people say, I got nothing, I don't need to write a will. But that's not true. Over time, people have a tendency to accumulate assets. You always have something, even if it's an old bicycle. Now, if you don't say anything, the people left after you're gone will just say, okay, well, throw it away or whatever else. Eventually, as you make the transition throughout your 20s from just stuff to who gets my wealth, who gets the money in my bank account, who gets the money in EPF, who gets the money from my insurance policies, you have to be aware of a very critical point. If in your will you have specified certain beneficiaries, but your life insurance policy has a different set of beneficiaries and your EPF account has a different set of beneficiaries, the EPF and the insurance listings take precedence over what's in the will. So the biggest issues with regard to the stuff that is around is that people don't think about it. If you die with a will, the distribution is done through grant of probate, which is a much quicker legal document that you can get. It can be done, I think, 2 to 6 months or whatever. If you die without a will, then you can't go for a grant of probate. You have to go and apply letter of administration. But I've heard horror stories about letters of administration that take a year, 2 years, 3 years or longer. And all this is very, very stressful. Can you imagine? People are dealing with enormous amounts of grief. What if you're the breadwinner and you have control of everything and then you're suddenly gone and your family eventually will gain access to assets but has no money? A person dies without a will, then in most cases in Malaysia, the Malaysian Distribution Act kicks in. And if you keep running through the various categories, ultimately the Malaysian government takes your stuff. It's not because it wants your assets. It's simply that if you've got no one and you haven't specified anyone and they can't find some distant cousin someplace, then where's the money going to go?
As of 2018, more than 66 billion ringgit worth of inheritance in Malaysia remains unclaimed. I'm going to say that one more time. 66 billion ringgit. I can't even compute those numbers. My chuchu's chichit's chuchu and her best friends could be living it out with that kind of money. Just imagine everything you've accumulated, gone. Your phone, your diary with all your secrets in it, your bantal busuk. Wait, ni semua aset ke?
If you're talking about what matters to you, you decide. What do I consider valuable? Then I've got to ask myself, who knows my intentions better? Me? Or in the absence of a will, the Malaysian government? In the case of Muslims in Malaysia, under the wasiat, you have a lot of flexibility, but only up to 1/3 of assets. Everything else is very much controlled on a family basis. For non-Muslims, you can give anything to anyone. In a will, you have plenty of flexibility. And now I'm specifically talking about a general will that doesn't apply to Muslims. Usually, all you need to do is take care of the key physical and key financial assets, and everything else can fall by the wayside. The way that you make sure nothing falls by the wayside is to have a clause at the very end of the will called residual distribution clause. What it effectively says is, and for everything else not mentioned in this will, please give it to. And once you take care of that, you're in pretty much good shape. When you are writing your will, use clear language. So let's say down the road you do get married. Specifically, you want to give 20,000 ringgit to your father, 20,000 ringgit to your mother, and you want to give everything else to your husband who's now your widower. Specify that and literally say, and everything left over I give to, with no exception, that kind of stuff. And that way you take care of your camera, the weird bicycle, your guinea pigs, or whatever else you may have. Get it done. But before you get it done, spend a little bit of time just to sit down by yourself and think, what have I got? Who do I care for? Who do I want to get stuff to? If you really don't like someone, don't leave them zero. For instance, a husband really doesn't want to leave anything to his wife. Under the Malaysian Distribution Act, the wife will get certain assets. But here, if you're saying, no, I don't want there to be any possibility of there being some kind of conflict, I don't want her to bring it up in court, etc., I will specify to this wife of mine, as much as you like, I leave 1 ringgit and not a penny more, something like that. You just have to understand that if you want to live responsibly, then you need to figure out a way to be able to die responsibly as well. And that's where the will comes in. It allows you to actually extend your hand from the grave to place assets precisely where you want them to go.
Hi, I'm Kat. With over 31 million of us in Malaysia, there are more than 130,000 deaths every year. And almost 90% of Malaysians do not have a written will to assign any assets to the next of kin. Truth is, all assets under your name will be frozen until a family member applies to acquire them. Guess how long that's gonna take? It can happen to you too. Let us know what you think.